Hey everyone, it is Krista here with Blooms and Brushstrokes, and my apologies for a little hiatus in the paint world. I'm just going to be super transparent with y'all. I had a really crazy couple months, and most recently my cat wants to go outside. Sorry, so you're going to hear him meowing, but we're between like thunderstorms here, so I thought now would be a good time to just paint. Anyway, yeah, my great auntie, who was like a grandma to me, she ended up passing away at the beginning of June. And so she had been battling bladder cancer and had chose MAID, which in Canada, that is medical assistance in dying. And so she chose that on June 2nd. And then her celebration of life was the following weekend. So I've been really busy with that, and that was pretty sad for me. So I really didn't have a lot of motivation to paint, even though I knew I wanted to. I was just really, really exhausted emotionally. And so I would just go to work and then I would come home and pretty much go to bed for the last month. It was definitely hard. And so that's what I did. And I really wanted to paint, and I did do some painting, but I just didn't film any of it. It was just more to just paint. So with that being said, I'm still here, and it's garden season, so it's going to be very crazy for me. I realize now, I'm like, ooh, next year what I'm going to have to do is try to stock up video footage throughout the year for the summer, because it's going to get challenging for me because I'm a big gardener. I have a yard here to take care of at my house. Then I have a huge garden at my partner's ranch. And so my time is just, I don't have a lot of it, but whatever. No more excuses. I do want to do a painting with you guys, a little tutorial. I thought it'd be kind of fun to do something. Right now in Saskatchewan, Canada, at the farm, the lilacs are just blooming. Here at my house, they're just finishing blooming. We're 2 hours apart as far as distance goes. So it's kind of interesting to see it, but the lilacs are in season-ish. And I've been picking bunches of them and then putting them in the house, and I took a picture, and anyways, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do a painting of some lilacs. And pardon me, at first I thought I had this idea of how I wanted to do it, and then I was working out this morning, and it kind of had this like, I just wanted to be kind of like loose and like my style, and just something that's gonna get me back into the mode of painting, because I just need it. So I need something to give me some motivation, some excitement. And so I have this drawing, which I'm not going to do the drawing with you guys because the tutorials get really, really long, but I will put it right here for you all so that you guys can screenshot it to follow along. It's kind of an interesting drawing because I'm just using the outline of the shape of a lilac. I don't even know what you'd call them, because the lilacs are made of many flowers. So just kind of I don't even know what that's called. But anyways, I'm going to leave you guys with that, and then you guys can follow along with me. So let's get to it and have a little fun with this. I'm just going to make it a pretty simple, kind of fun, just flow with whatever comes to me, because I really don't want something rigid right now. I just want something that's going to get me back in the mode of painting and being creative, and kind of get me out of my funk a little bit. I feel I'm kind of coming out of it. To be honest, the passing of my auntie was the final thing of a few things that had happened. Before that, my father got involved in a cryptocurrency scam and basically lost everything. And then before that, I actually had a accidental fire out at the ranch, and then it's just been a lot. So my nervous system has been way out of whack. So this, I'm hopeful, brings me back to where I like to be, and let's just have some fun. So join me, grab your paints, grab your paint brushes, grab your paper, some water. You guys are probably gonna hear my cat quite a bit because he really wants to go outside, but he doesn't go outside unless he's on a leash. So hopefully he just lays down after a while, which he usually does. It takes him a little while, and paper towel. Grab your paper towel and let's hop to it, you guys. All right, friends. So I've got our drawing here all ready to rock and roll. So what I'm going to do first of all is paint the jar. Pardon me. I'm going to do the jar first and then work from the back forward, but I'm going to do these very loose. Like the leaves are going to be loose. The lilacs are going to be loose. So let's just carry on and let's go for it. So right now I'm using my Aqua Elite number 10 Princeton Round Brush. And so we're just going to go drop water down on this whole. I gave my cat some treats and he's got like a big crunchie. Like one came out as a double. So anyways, I'm just going to drop that down. There's a little part here where I'm going to leave it white. And I'm just going to loosely put water on because I don't want to cover the whole entire jar. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a very diluted, kind of bluey, extremely diluted, like hardly any pigment, any paint on there. You can dab it out on your dabbing paper. He's not sure what to do with that. So, you know, even less than that, if you guys can see. So I'm even going to add more water. Like very, very light. I know this is a mess, but very, very light. If it's too much, we can always go and add more water, but oh boy, here we go. Cat is in the house. So we're just going to drop that down. Got a little hair on there. Great. That's the name of the game in my house here. And we're just going to move that around because we're doing the jar right now. Just giving that look of like that clear kind of glass, which it kind of always has that, you know, a little tinge of kind of blue to it. So we're not doing anything too crazy. We're just putting that in there. So we're gonna do these stems once it's dry a little bit, but we don't want it to be totally dry. We want it to be a bit dry because we want them to kind of blur a bit. As you would see if you had a stem in a glass of water, you would notice that it actually does blur a bit. We can also kind of go back in here a little because this is the top of our jar. So we can put a little bit of that in there. We're gonna be getting paint kind of going crazy, but I don't know what that's from. Probably my cat paw print. So I'm just taking a little bit of something darker just along the edge. Why not? Have some fun. And then we'll just go like that throughout there. So lilac stems are kind of like a gray brown color. This doesn't need to necessarily be exact. I'm still going to continue on with my number 10 brush. I think we can do a lot of this with this brush. Keep it simple. It's still quite damp, so I'm not going to go in quite yet, but I'm going to mix up my color. So, ooh, sorry guys. It's like I forgot how to do a tutorial while I've been off in my own little world. My apologies. So this is the turquoise I'm mixing with some of this neutral black and lots of water. That's what I used for this, the glass. What I'm gonna use for the stem is I'm gonna use some of this raw umber and some of this neutral black together. Very diluted as well. That's gonna give me that kind of brownie gray look. So I've mixed that up and I'm gonna use lots of water. And this is basically the color I'm gonna get. So very diluted. That's the color I want. So let's go in and put that down. Ooh, this has already dried up quite a bit. That's okay. It's still wet enough. And we're just gonna do a few, you know, stems that are, they're not like in any particular order or anything like that. We're just putting a few stems in there because, and because it's not totally wet, we can go through and just brush a little bit of that paint to kind of give that illusion. So I'm just putting my brush on the side. That's wet. The brush is wet and I'm not tons of water, just enough to kind of like swoosh it over to kind of give that look that it's doing that up here naturally. So all good. That's exactly what I wanted it to just look like. That is, I'm going to start with the background ones. So we're going to just drop paint down in that shape, but buddy, can you go lay down? I'll take you outside when I'm done. I know. You're telling everybody that you're here. Okay. So I got lots of water on there. And when we're gonna start with our lightest purple. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in with the violet, straight violet there, which is this one. And I'm gonna put it down with some of that neutral black, but I'm gonna dilute it a lot. So I just don't want it to be super vibrant. Okay. Honestly, he's got his tail in my paint. Like, there's no wonder there's hair everywhere and cat prints everywhere. Nobody, no painting today. So this is what that purple is gonna look like. Almost pastel-y. You guys can see that. Yeah, so I like that. So I'm just gonna do that and I'm just gonna drop some down there. I want lots. And we're just gonna kind of let it do its thing. So next up, we're gonna work. We're gonna work at this one back here. So I'm just gonna put down, oops, my thing's still purple, but that's okay. And just a lot of water. Same kind of idea. I just want it to be loose. And then we have another one coming back here. And still using that same mix of color. Whoops. We can switch it up as we go along. This is just our like base color, and so we're just gonna use the same. So I'm just dropping that color in there, you guys, that violet. So we're gonna continue to work on these background ones and dropping in a little bit more pigment. So I'm gonna go with that violet now. Just pretty much straight that violet. I want it a little bit brighter. And I want to do it while these are still, you know, a bit damp or wet. Like I just want some of that pigment to kind of, and then I'll splatter a little bit in there. So again, and splatter some in there. Because as you know, when you look at a lilac, the flowers are all, you know, similar color, but they with the, you know, with the light on it, they all look a little bit different. So we want it to be dimensional by adding some color in there. And then I'm going to go in with this violet rose, which is this color that's a little bit more pinky. We're going to go with that. I think I'm going to add a little bit of that neutral black to it just to kind of tone her down a bit, make it a little bit more moody, and then dilute it so we don't have like an insane amount of color. But a little bit of that pink. Not quite enough. Just enough. I think just for kind of like a natural little bit of a tone to it, I'm going to add in the raw umber. Just a little splatter of that. I don't know, it's kind of crazy, but I'm going to just go for it. Yes. I kind of like that, you guys. So it kind of looks, you know, all wonky right now. But what I'm going to do is let that dry. And then at the end, we're going to go in and kind of draw in little more detailed flowers in these. So, you know, it'll look more like a lilac. So I'm just going to continue on here, you guys, by adding, I'm going to let those dry actually. So maybe we'll start to work on some of these leaves that are not touching those purple flowers. So there's a few leaves under here that I can get on with and do a little bit of the green. So I'm going to start with the olive green, which is one that I always go to. This one. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned, but I'm using the Yarka St. Petersburg paint. So we're going to do similar kind of technique. Oops, I got a little bit of that green on there, but that's okay. Similar kind of technique where we're going to drop in some color. We got another one over here. Got some of that olive green going on there. I'm going to mix in the olive green with a little bit of the yellow green, which is this one. So we have different colors working in our painting here to add some dimension. And of course, like nothing is always the same color. Again, depending on the way the light shines on it and whatever else. So I don't really love that, but whatever, we're gonna work with it. I think with this one here, we're gonna go in with a little bit of that Russian green, that nice dark kind of foresty green. So we're going to go in with this, we're going to start with this big guy back here, and we're going to drop in quite a bit of water. Again, you know, oh, we got this one blending, blooming over there. We're just going to roll with that today. It's kind of how I feel. I'm just going with the flow. So we got quite a bit of color popping into there, but that's okay. If we don't like it, we can go clean up some of it with our paper towel. You can just go in there and just do. But I'm going to leave some of it. I like it. So we want to kind of work with this one to be a little bit lighter than what these back ones are, because this kind of looks like, you know, there's shadow on this one because it's behind. So we don't want to go quite as dark with this one. So we're going to go a little bit lighter. And I'm going to use a bit more of this rose violet with a bit of that violet mixed together, and then dilute it a lot. So these will have a little bit more of that pinky tinge to it. Right on. Yeah, you know what? I kind of like that. I think it's kind of cool looking. I'm going to mix a little bit of the violet with the black again. I just, for some reason, I just like love that look of that. Kind of pastel-y. Bluey kind of look. And let's take a little bit of, what are we at here? This rose color. I'm just gonna add a little bit of the rose in there, but very diluted. Just a little hint of it to great. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to work on this one back here. And we're going to go in with some of that violet mixed with the black, because I love that. And a little bit of that rose color mixed with the violet. And then we're going to do this one. So we're just dropping water down. This is kind of like a nice, easy exercise. And you can just see that color just poof into there. Totally, totally fine. This is like more abstract, looser style. It's kind of my jam, which I love. And it just, doing stuff like this really helps me just to get playing with the paint again when I kind of, I'm kind of battling it out a bit. And it's not so much that I'm like battling, because I always love to paint. It just feels like I've been so tired. So thank you to those of you who've been understanding and sending me messages like, don't sweat it. We're just happy when you produce something. Like, thank you for saying those kind words, because honestly, you start being pretty hard on yourself when you're doing these, you're like, I have to have one out. I said I was going to, but we're all human and sometimes it doesn't work that way. So I'm just going to kind of let these dry up a bit, because there's quite a lot of water in there, which I am liking, but I like to see a little bit more definition in the dots, and it's just so wet that it's like when I splatter down, it's just blending into everything. And start with some of our olive, pop it in there. I'm gonna mix some of our green that we've just been working with in there as well. Just kind of let it do its thing. I think I'll add just a little bit of the neutral black in there just to really add that depth in there. Which is cool. We're gonna go in and use our ink anyways, so of course, you know, we can have it looking abstract and then we can go add in some fun details with our ink. So let's work on this. Yeah, let's go ahead and work on these other leaves in here. So there's another green one here, and just dropping down some water. There's quite a bit of purple in that. That's fine. We're going in with the olive green. So this is a little bit of that Russian green mixed with the black. Perfect. And then we have one more, but I think, let's go for it. Mix a little bit of that yellow green in there. For fun. And maybe we'll pop a little bit in here too. Why not? It's like tie-dye. We have one more leaf to do, and then I want to, right now I'm going to go in and splatter a little bit more purple onto these. So I'm going to go with the violet. The violet mixed with the black again. And we're just going to splatter. That's still pretty wet. That's okay. Wet. So we're just going to go and put in these stems. Oh my gosh, the cat's like trying to get outside himself. Okay, let's go pop in this green leaf. This could get crazy on us because it's still a bit wet everywhere, but I'm willing to try her out. Okay. And we're just popping some of that. We're just working with the same colors that we've been using the whole time. So if you're curious about what colors we're using, we're gonna let that totally dry up. Hang tight, guys. If you're following along, let your painting dry and we will just get back to it as soon as it's all dry. Okay, so we're pretty dry here. I just want to add a little bit more dimension into these ones. Like they are a bit damp, but I want to add a little bit of dimension, but I don't want to be like, I still want to bloom a bit. So what I'm going to do is use a little bit more concentrated of that pinky, like just kind of a pinky, the violet rose, but some of the violet, like just a little something to add a bit more dimension. Yeah, see, it's quite dry. So we're just gonna splatter on a little bit of water. Yes, there we go. We're gonna let that dry and then we're gonna go in and do our flowers and then we'll do, oh, actually one more thing. I wanted to add in, because this is a jar, there's just some rings at the top and I think that'll help us give that look of the jar if we can add that in there. So I'm using the neutral black and turquoise and really diluting it. And we're just gonna do the rings like so. It just helps to give that look, oops, of that jar a little bit more kind of reality. Not that this is all super real, but you know, you can get a little bit, we're just gonna kind of smoosh it and dilute it and create a little shadow there. And then we have the top of it. Oh my gosh, my cat is funny now. He's laying right in front of us and he's just purring away like he's just so happy to be here after he's meowing like crazy. And probably when I'm finished this painting, I'll take him back outside and it's probably going to start raining because that's what's been happening. The clouds just roll in and then it rains and then good enough for that, you guys. That is perfect too. I guess we have like the back side, so. Just like that. I don't actually know if I even really like that there. Well, whatever. It's there now. Okay, good enough. Let it totally dry, and then we're gonna go in for some detail. It's all good. So basically a lilac tiny little flower has 4 petals. It looks like it's all joined together. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go in and do a few of these. Okay, so we're gonna grab our Micron pen. Number 01. You were doing wonderful, buddy. You really were. Oh, that one's dry. Mustn't have had the lid on it. I got a whole pack of them, 6-pack of these. Micron Archival Ink Pens. Okay. I kind of just like how it looks on its own, but I also like how it looks when we can give a little bit of dimension. So we're gonna add a little bit of black ink to this. Hopefully it all works out. So we're just gonna kind of go like we do and not press super hard. We're just, wow, he was doing so good. Like we I'm gonna go for it. This may make or break it, but I have this like picture in my head that I want to have some of these cute little lilac flowers in there. And the reason that I don't let Tex out on his own is that I live out in the country and coyotes are a real thing. And I have lost a couple cats in my life of having cats. So Texas is the one cat, he does not go outside. So for all of you that are like, just let him outside, that's not how that goes around here, because I've been brokenhearted a few times. So he just has to wait till we're done, which is soon. So you know what? I don't mind that look of having those little lilac flowers. And I don't know if they're like totally my favorite thing that I've done here, but that's what I wanted to do. So that's what we're doing. You know, I kind of feel if I maybe make them not so perfect, I'm not really sure at this point. It'll all come together as I work through this, but this was just like a moment I had, and I never did a I didn't do a pre one, so it might actually look better if I do more of them rather than just a few of them. So I might have to take my time and go through and do quite a few of them. So I'm gonna work on that. I think already I like how there's like more there. I'm gonna do that, you guys. So bear with me as I get going on this. It might take me a while. So I'm just going through and putting in the little flowers, okay? I have drawn in all these little flowers, which I think looks way, way, way better. And you can continually add in more if you like. If you don't want to, fine. I like that look though. And they aren't all totally perfect, and they aren't all the same size, and you know, some of them are kind of falling off and out in the air. And I kind of like that look too, just a little bit more playful, more fun. So I think that's going to kind of wrap it up for that. I have these leaves are kind of interesting to me, but I don't want to tamper with them because, you know, I just like the busyness being in the flower. The only thing that we could possibly do is add some more line work in there, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to let that be. I like how it looks. It turned out pretty cute, I think. I like these little kind of flowers all over. They're pretty cute. So I'm going to go with that, you guys, and just wrap it up. So I'm going to put my name in here, my K25, and that's going to do it for this painting. Okay, friends. So as I said, that's going to wrap it up for this painting. I think it looks pretty cute. It's a little different than what I would normally do, and I quite like it. So if you guys enjoyed that tutorial, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of the videos. I do want to apologize again for the gap that just happened, and also my cat in the background. That is something I'm going to have to figure out. I might have to figure out how to get him outside. As soon as I start talking, he thinks that I'm ignoring him. Come here. Come here. Come see. If you're a cat person, you will understand the struggle. It is real. And I'll take him outside right now. But again, yeah, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Again, my goal is to, I think it's a little lofty to try to produce one a week, but I'm going to try to do a tutorial at least one a month for the next 3 months, and I can hopefully do a couple shorts in there. And if I can do more, great. It just gets really, really busy for me with the flower garden and the vegetable garden and all that stuff. So I want to apologize. I thought I'd be able to create more and do more, but I think it's just the timing is, it's challenging for me right now with all the yard work and all that stuff. But anyway, thank you guys. This really totally inspired me. I think it's so cute, and it makes me definitely want to dip into the paints a little bit more and have some more fun. So I have been taking photographs of some of my flowers that are blooming, so I will have content to paint as soon as I have all the time in the world again. So Texas, we love you, but you are an annoying paint pal. You are annoying. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll check you next time.